Hi, welcome again to Kodai Linux Mitra. Let us continue with the ls command. So last session we learnt about ls command. We learnt a few options of ls command. Let us continue with some more options of ls command. What if you want to display even the files uh, whose names begin with dot, with whose names begin with a dot character? For that, there is an option called -a. So you can see there are certain files which begin with dot bash or c, dot landscape. Okay, so whatever files you begin with dot, they won't be displayed. The names of those files won't be displayed for just the ls command without the -a option. Only with the -a option you would be able to display those files. Okay, if so, the next question is, can I create a file? Can any user create a file uh, whose name starts with a dot? The answer is yes. Anyone can create a file whose name starts with dot. Cat greater than dot my file. Okay, m file or my file, anything. Okay, here I am typing something. Okay, control D. Control D for terminating. Okay, so I have created a file called dot my file. So when I want to display the contents of that dot my file. In Linux, there is a mechanism wherein you can complete the name of the file. You don't have to type the entire name of the file. So just press a tab. This is known as file completion. Okay, Linux provides it. Linux bash provides it. Okay, cat.myfile. See, if there are more than one file starting with my, then it will display the set of all those files. Then second time when you press tab, it will, you need to be more specific and then press a tab like that. But here there is only one file starting with .my. So .my file, sorry, .my, then I am pressing a tab, .my file. It displays the contents of the .my file. ls-a. So is it not displaying the name of .my file also? Yes. So it means that anyone can create a file starting with a dot character. So the file starting with dot character would be hidden from the normal ls output, and only ls with -a option would be able to display those files. Okay, let us look at something else about the file, something more about the files. Okay, any file in Linux or Unix, they have three timestamps. One is access timestamp, one is modification timestamp, and one is inode change timestamp. Don't worry, what is this inode and all. Okay, I'll be explaining you about what is that inode in a later class. So these are the three timestamps: access timestamp, modification timestamp, and inode change timestamp. So when are these timestamps of a file get changed? Whenever you are accessing the contents of the file, like when you are reading the file, whenever you are reading the file, then access timestamp changes. Whenever you are making any change to the file, whenever you are making any change to the contents of the file, then modification timestamp changes. Then inode change timestamp, when we learn about inode, I will tell you what is the significance of the inode change timestamp. So right now, let us not worry about the inode change timestamp. Okay, so these are the three timestamps associated with any file. Okay, so earlier we have seen that ls-l, right? So whatever timestamp that is, the question arises, so which timestamp is displayed here, whether it is access timestamp or modification timestamp or inode updation timestamp? It is the modification timestamp. Okay, the timestamp that is displayed with the ls minus l option is modification timestamp. How do you display the access timestamp? So let us see how do we display the access timestamp. Okay, access timestamp is displayed with the ls-lu option. So u would display the access timestamp. So the timestamp displayed here is access timestamp. So when is the access timestamp of a file changed? When you are opening a file in the read mode, then the access timestamp of the file is changed. Okay, fine. Then how do you display the inode updation timestamp? ls-lc. C means change timestamp, inode change timestamp. That would display the files with their inode change timestamp. Okay. So there is yet another option, ls -i. So what is the values displayed here? See, you can see some values displayed with every file name. So a value and then the file name. So the value displayed here is known as inode number. So -i option will display the inode number. So every file has an associated inode number. So the files and their corresponding inode numbers are displayed. So in a later session, we'll be looking at this inode. So what is this inode? What is the significance of the inode? Inodes that are maintained for every file. Okay, for every file, one inode table is maintained. So what is the purpose of this inode table, and what is this inode number? What is the relationship between this inode number and the inode table? So all these things we will be learning in a later session. Okay, fine. So these are some of the important options of the ls command. If you want to know more about the ls command, always look at the man page. Man ls would display all the options of ls command. Okay, a lot of information you can gather from the manual page. Okay, so I encourage you to go through the manual page. Okay, now the next question. Okay, whenever I'm executing ls command, okay, whether it be ls-l or with any option or just ls command, okay, its output is displayed. Okay, let us suppose that this output of this ls-l, okay, long listing output of ls command, which displays the list of files in the current directory. What if I want to write this output to a file? What if I want to write this output to a file? I don't want to display on the monitor, but I want to write it to the file. For that, what I can do? For that, what I can do means I can do something called as redirect. I can redirect the output to a file. So I can give something like ls-l 1 greater than, but wherein one is not mandatory, but I will come to that. What is the meaning of giving 1 greater than? We will see that. ls-l 1 greater than ls out. Okay. So a file called ls out is created. So how do you display the contents of ls out? Cat ls out. Okay. So you would have observed one thing. Whenever we are executing any command, certain commands, okay, their output, if those commands are producing any output, those outputs where they are going to the monitor, or you can call it as VDU, visual display unit, or you can call it as computer screen. Okay, all mean one and the same. So their output goes to this monitor. Let us call it as monitor. Okay, so whether it is ls or whether it is pwd or whether it is uname or let it be cal. Okay, all these output go to monitor. Okay, so by default, wherever the output is displayed, that particular file is known as standard output file. There is a file associated with the monitor to which the output is sent by default. So that file is known as standard output file. Let me repeat. There is a file stream associated with the monitor, okay, to which the output is sent by default, and that is called as the standard output file. Okay, and there is a file descriptor for this standard output file, and the descriptor is 1. Okay, so the descriptor, file descriptor associated with the standard output file is 1. So the monitor is the standard output file. Now coming to the redirection. What is the redirection? Through the redirection, what we are telling is that whatever has to be sent to the standard output file, that is the monitor, please redirect it to the some other disk file that I am specifying. So that is what I am indicating with the help of the redirection operator. So through redirection operator, what I am telling is that don't send the output to the standard output file, that is monitor, but rather redirect the output to a particular disk file that I am specifying. For example, let us suppose I am giving cal, okay, then greater than, okay, I can give 1 greater than, or I can just give greater than. Okay, so what is the meaning of that 1 greater than? If I am giving 1 greater than, 1 means the file descriptor of standard output. Okay, so standard outputs redirection should happen to the monitor. So when it is standard output redirection, I can give 1 greater than. But if I am just giving greater than, Unix will understand that it is 1 greater than. So cal greater than November calendar. Okay, we'll create a file called November calendar. So what it does, it sends output of the cal command to now calendar. So a file called now calendar would be created. Yes, right? So let us check by displaying the contents of the now calendar. Now calendar, yes. So cal's output has been sent to now calendar. So this is known as output redirection. So I believe you would have understood the meaning of the output redirection. Output redirection means what? Normally the output of a command would be sent to the monitor by default. If you want to tell that you want to redirect that output to a file that you are specifying, then you can do so by specifying the output redirection operator. Here the greater than symbol is the output redirection operator. Okay. Now I want to do something like this. I want cat, okay, to receive the input from a file. Okay, see, cat, from where it receives the input, cat, and when you press enter, from where it expects the input, it expects the input from the keyboard. So here, okay, kite, fire, okay, something like this, okay, moon, sun, okay, it reads the input from the keyboard and it sends the output to the monitor. Okay, you press Ctrl D, it comes out. So from where the cat reads its input, it reads its input from the keyboard. So a command, when it reads the input, by default, from where it reads the input, it reads the input from the keyboard by default. Hence, keyboard is known as the standard input file. Okay, there is a file stream associated with the keyboard, and that is known as standard input file stream. Okay, so, and the standard input file has an associated file descriptor, and that is 0. Okay, so when you want to, let us suppose I want to read the contents of my file as input redirection. So cat, do the input redirection, my file. What does it mean? So cat would by default read from the keyboard, but with the input redirection operator, it would read from my file, and where it would send the output to monitor, because I have not given the output redirection. So what it has done, it has read the contents of my file and displayed on the monitor. Okay, this is input redirection. So I believe you would have understood about the input redirection and output redirection. So there is one more redirection called error redirection that we would see in our next video. Before concluding today's session, I would like to ask you one question. That is, how do you list the files in a directory with the ls command, largest file first and the smallest file last? That is, as per the size of the sorted, that is, the files should be in the sorted order of the file size, wherein the first would be the largest file, then the next smaller file, and the smallest would be the last. So in that order, the file should be listed. Okay, and how do you reverse that order also? Okay, so you can post your replies on the comment section. Okay, so take care. Bye bye. Meet you in the next session.